Q naught must be placed so that it is in equilibrium. Okay, we say that a particle is in equilibrium when the net force acting on it is 0. So let's see how to solve this. Say this is 1 microcoulomb, and somewhere here we have another charge of 4 microcoulomb. It's given that the distance of separation is 1 meter. Now let us select a point in between the charges just to check. Suppose I have kept the charge Q naught here. Now Q naught will experience two forces, one due to 1 microcoulomb, another due to 4 microcoulomb. So because of 1 microcoulomb there is a force of repulsion. This is force on Q naught due to 1 microcoulomb. And because of 4 there will be a repulsion and the force will act opposite. This is force on Q naught due to 4 microcoulomb. Now if you observe, the two vectors are acting in opposite direction, so there is a possibility of cancelling each other provided their magnitudes are equal. So take this distance as x. The remaining distance would be 1 minus x. Now find the two forces magnitudes. The charge will be in equilibrium if F Q naught comma 1 magnitude becomes equal to force on Q naught due to 4 microcoulomb. Anyway, directions are opposite. So equate between Q naught and 1 microcoulomb. It's 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught. I'm writing it as K. Q naught into 1 by x square should be equal to 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught Q naught into 4 by 1 minus x whole square. Cancel off the like terms. 1 by x square is 4 by 1 minus x whole square. Apply square root on both sides. So 1 by x should be 2 by 1 minus x. Cross multiply and simplify. Is 2x implies 3x is equal to 1, or x equal to 1 by 3 meter, but be specific, from 1 microcoulomb. You can also write the answer as 2 by 3 meter, but this is from 4 microcoulomb. Okay, similar to the previous question, here I have given you 1 microcoulomb and 4 microcoulomb. Instead of plus 4, it is minus 4 microcoulomb. They are separated by 1 meter distance. So you have to find a point where Q naught should be placed so that it is in equilibrium. That means Q naught should be in equilibrium. So let this be a 1 microcoulomb charge. And here I will take minus 4 microcoulomb. Distance of separation is 1 meter. But like previous question, if you select a point in between the line joining the charges, say I have kept Q naught here, then on Q naught you will observe that due to 1 microcoulomb there will be a force of repulsion, and due to minus 4 microcoulomb there will be a force of attraction. If both forces are in same direction, the net force will not become 0. So you cannot take a point along or in between the charges. Now either I should select it towards 1 microcoulomb here, or I have to select this point. Okay, let us choose which is the point. If you select a point which is close to 4 microcoulomb, magnitude is also more, distance is less, so there will be a very large force of attraction on Q naught. And due to 1 microcoulomb, Q naught is repelled, but this is a very small magnitude of force. So one force which is very large is directed towards it. Another force which is small in magnitude is directed away. So they may not cancel each other. So you cannot select a point which is towards minus 4. So this in between them is not possible. Towards minus 4 is also not possible. So the left out option is this point. Now let us see. If you keep a charge Q naught Due to 1 microcoulomb, there is a force of repulsion. This is force on Q naught due to 1. And due to -4, there is a force of attraction. Magnitude is more, distance is also more. So possibility of balancing is possible. So this is a force experienced by Q naught due to -4 microcoulomb. So if they give you two opposite charges and you have to locate a point where equilibrium is present, select the point outside the system close to smaller magnitude of charge. Okay, and now let us see the solution. Force between Q naught and 1 magnitude should be balanced by force on Q naught due to -4 microcoulomb. So now equate the forces. 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught Q naught into 1. I am not converting the unit. By, let this distance be x, by x square should be equal to k into force between -4 and Q naught. Q naught into 4, only take the magnitude, don't put minus sign. Distance from -4 to this point is 1 plus x whole square. 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught Q naught will get cancelled. Now apply the square root on both sides. 1 by x is 2 by 1 plus x, or 1 plus x is equal to 2x. Implies x is equal to 1 meter, but be specific, from 1 microcoulomb, or 2 meter from -4 microcoulomb. We have 2 point charges, capital Q and capital Q, which are at a distance d. Okay, what charge and where should it be placed so that the system is in equilibrium? Another question of equilibrium, but this time it is the system which is in equilibrium. So let us begin. Let this be a capital Q charge, and here you have another charge, capital Q. The distance between them is a d. Okay, let us imagine our charge to be Q naught, and we need to find what is this value also. So since these two charges are of same magnitude, okay, logically you can think this charge must be placed at the center so that the net force acting on Q naught is 0. So we have got the answer for the first bit. Where should it be placed? At center. Now the second one is, what charge should be placed for the system to be in equilibrium? When do you say a system is in equilibrium? If the net force on capital Q should be 0, the net force on Q naught should be 0, and even the net force on this should be 0. Anyway, central charge is already in equilibrium because we have placed it at a distance d by 2. Now let us see what are the forces acting on capital Q. Capital Q is repelled by Q naught. So this is one force, F on capital Q due to Q naught. Capital Q is also repelled by another charge, capital Q. So this is the direction of force on capital Q, capital Q. But the sum of these two forces has to become 0. Let us write capital Q, Q naught plus F capital Q into capital Q should become 0. So write the force 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught, that is K. I am removing it, writing it as K, Q naught divided by d by 2 whole square plus 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught Q into Q by d whole square should be 0. Anyway, K and d square will go to 0. Q naught into 4 plus Q square should be 0. Implies 4 Q naught plus capital Q should be 0, or Q naught should be minus Q by 4. So this is the charge and it should be placed at center. Okay. Here the question says there are 2 point charges, each capital Q and capital Q, and a small charge Q0 is placed at the center. What is the nature of equilibrium when it is displaced along x-axis as well as along y-axis? The nature of equilibrium in the sense you have to judge and tell whether it is in stable or unstable equilibrium. When do you say a body is in stable equilibrium? If you give a small displacement to the body and there is a force to restore it or to bring it to its original position, then we say it is in stable equilibrium. If there is no force acting on it which can bring it back to its initial position, we say the equilibrium is unstable equilibrium. Okay, now let us start. Say I have given a small displacement to this charge along x-axis. So we have moved it close to a positive charge. So now you can imagine if it is at center, the forces were balanced, it was in stable or it was in equilibrium. But once I displace it along x-axis towards a positive charge, obviously this charge will exert more force of repulsion than the first charge. Due to that, the charge will try to come back to its initial position. So this displacement of the charge Q0 along x-axis is what kind of equilibrium? It is stable equilibrium. Because when you are displacing it, a force is acting to bring it back to its original position. This is the case when you displace it along x-axis. Now let us see what will happen when you displace it along y-axis. Okay, so let's see what would happen when you displace this charge along y-axis. If you move the charge along y-axis, say I have given a small displacement till here. Now the charge is at this particular position. Now how many forces is it experiencing? One force of repulsion due to capital Q and another force of repulsion due to capital Q. Both are equal in magnitude. Resultant will act in upward direction. So if you have displaced the charge along y-axis, net force is acting in the same direction. That means this charge has a tendency to go upward but not a tendency to come back. Since it cannot come back to its initial position, so along y-axis it is in unstable position. I cannot say that it is stable because once you displace it, there is no force to bring it back to its initial position. So this is what type of equilibrium? Unstable equilibrium. Okay, now the same question. The two positive charges Q and Q are separated by a distance d, but the central charge is negative. First check whether it is equilibrium or not. See, on Q0 there are two forces, attractive and attractive. Both are equal and opposite. So this particle is in equilibrium. Now we have to discuss the nature of equilibrium when you displace it along x-axis. Say when you displace it along x-axis through a small distance x, the negative charge has come close to the positive charge. So it has a tendency to move towards this. It is not coming back to its original position. Since it is unable to restore its position along x-axis, the nature of equilibrium or displacement along x-axis, nature of equilibrium would be unstable because it is not bringing it back to its initial position. Then second is, if I displace it along y-axis, say I have displaced the particle through a distance y. Now here is your negative charge. There are two forces acting on it. One attractive force towards capital Q, another attractive force directed towards capital Q. The resultant of these two forces will be in downward direction. So when you have displaced the charge upward, there is a net force directed downward to bring it back to initial position. since it's coming back to initial position, what type of equilibrium is it? It is a stable equilibrium. But sometimes here they may even ask you, if it is coming back to the central position, will the charge abruptly stop here? No, because it comes down with some kinetic energy. Because it has some kinetic energy, it will move down and it will start oscillating along this particular line. And since it is oscillating, they may even ask you, are the oscillations simple harmonic or not? Okay, so let us see whether we can determine whether these oscillations along y-axis are executing simple harmonic motion or not. So in the previous question, we have seen that if 2 point charges, each Q and Q, are separated by a distance d, and a negative charge Q naught is placed at the center, when you displace it along y-axis, the net force was directed towards center and it was in stable equilibrium. And now the question is, say you have displaced it through a small distance y. It will again come back to center, but while coming back it gains kinetic energy. So definitely the charge won't stop at the center. It will again go down until its kinetic energy becomes 0 and it starts oscillating along y-axis. Now let us see whether these oscillations are simple harmonic or not. Okay, to call it simple harmonic, we know that the net force should be proportional to negative of displacement. And here we are assuming that y is much lesser when compared with d. So this is your position of the charge after giving a small displacement. Identify the forces acting on it. One force is here. Another is an attractive force directed towards capital Q. Take this angle as theta. Resolve the force into components. This is theta, F cos theta. Downward we have F sin theta. Similarly, if I resolve the next force also, I get F cos theta, and down I will have another F sin theta, so I'll make it 2F sin theta. So the net force which is directed towards center is 2F sin theta, direction minus j cap. Now substitute the value of F. F is the force between Q and Q naught. So K 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught Q naught by R square. R is the distance from Q naught to Q. This is R into sin theta into minus j cap. Now substitute the value of sin theta as well as R square, 2k Q naught by. Since R is a hypotenuse, one side is d by 2, another is y. I will write it as d by 2 whole square plus y square under root, again whole square because it is R square, into sin theta. Sin theta is y by opposite by hypotenuse, y by again R, where R is under root d by 2 whole square plus y square, direction minus j cap, or the net force would be 2, k is 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught Q naught into y by d square by 4 plus y square whole to the power. This is square and root gets cancelled, and here you have a root, 1 plus half 3 by 2 into minus j cap. And since y is very small when compared with d, if you neglect y square in comparison with d square by 4, then the net force would be 2k q naught into y by d square, 4 I will bring it to numerator, into minus j cap. Since all these are constants, net force is proportional to negative of displacement. So the body is going to execute simple harmonic motion. Since r is a hypotenuse, one side is d by 2, another is y. I will write it as d by 2 whole square plus y square under root, again whole square because it is r square, into sine theta. Sine theta is y by opposite by hypotenuse, y by again r, where r is under root d by 2 whole square plus y square, direction minus j cap, or the net force would be 2, k is 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught, q naught into y by d square by 4 plus y square whole to the power. This is square and root gets cancelled, and here you have a root, 1 plus half 3 by 2 into minus j cap. And since y is very small when compared with d, if you neglect y square in comparison with d square by 4, then the net force would be 2k q naught into y by d square, 4 I will bring it to numerator, into minus j cap. Since all these are constants, net force is proportional to negative of displacement. So the body is going to execute simple harmonic motion. Okay, so it's given that a charge q is revolving around a negative charge. Okay, its radius is given as r, and you need to find the speed, angular velocity and the time period of a revolution. Okay, assume that it's moving with a constant speed. And now let us check. There is a charge minus q at the center, and then a positive charge is revolving around it in a circular orbit of radius small r. So who is supplying the necessary centripetal force? It should obviously be the electrostatic force of attraction. So Fe should be equal to, we write centripetal force as mv square by r. So force I'll write k 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught q square by r square should be mv square divided by r. R and square gets cancelled. We need the speed, so v is equal to k q square by r into m under root. So this will give you the speed. And once you know the speed, you can find angular velocity. Okay, we know angular velocity omega is equal to v by r. So what is the angular speed of a revolution? Put the value of v, k q square by rm divided by r again. When you take it inside the root, it becomes r square. R square into r will be r cube. So omega would be under root k q square by m into r cube. Remember, the value of k is 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught. Okay, here I took the value as 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught. And once you know this omega, you can easily find out the time period. Time period of revolution is 2 pi divided by omega. That would be 2 pi, reverse the fraction, under root m into r cube by k into q square. So this gives you